you're commuting home with Katz and Cosby. Now, here's John Katzimatidis and Rita Cosby on 77 WABC.
And now, let's go. We got some breaking news always from John Solomon.
Breaking news, WABC.
And joining us now is the great investigative journalist, the founder of Just the News, John Solomon. John, you've got some bombshells on investigation into Democratic fundraising. Talk about it.
Yeah, very important. The House Administration Committee, which is the Election Integrity Committee in the Congress, it has revealed that it has reason to believe that Iran, China, Russia, and Venezuela have been routing money into Democratic campaigns through a fundraising platform called ActBlue. Now, it doesn't mean ActBlue is complicit in this. It could just be that their system is being used to do this. But they've now asked for what are known as suspicious activity reports. These are money laundering reports, very sensitive. Only the government and banks know about them. But Congress is asking for access to those reports to see how much potential money is flowing through the Democratic campaigns. This is part of a long-running investigation. It began in Congress about 4 or 5 months ago. A few weeks ago, referrals were made to 5 attorneys generals in 5 states. That investigation in the states suddenly expanded to 19 attorneys general, 19 states now believing they're seeing a pattern of donations being made by people who didn't give the donation, meaning their name was used, their email may have been used, but they didn't give the money. Straw donations is what they're called, or now they're calling them Smurfs. So the states began investigating after Congress gave them a tip-off, and now Congress is saying, we've learned some form of information that leads us to believe that 4 foreign powers could be routing money, and we want the Treasury Department, the Biden-Harris Treasury Department, to give us access to these very sensitive money laundering reports. Major escalation. And just a little bit ago, Speaker Mike Johnson came over the top of all these revelations and said, hey, I've put a website up. Any American, you can go look and see if your name is showing up in the ActBlue database as giving a donation. If you didn't give a donation and your name's in there, let us know, because we're going to track every fake donation down.
You know what? I can't wait to see. That's really smart, because I can't wait to see who comes forward and names come forward. Also, John Solomon, you've got another biggie, too, on Georgia finding some non-citizens on the voter rolls. That's a big deal, right? Exactly, because Georgia is obviously an important state this election.
It is, and it's a state that has been really working hard to make sure that non-citizens didn't get on their rolls. Now, when you take the last 2 months, we've had about 5,000 to 6,000 non-citizens that have been confirmed to have been located on different states' voter rolls. So when Democrats say we don't have a citizenship problem, thousands of people who were non-citizens tried to get on states' voter rolls in the last a couple of months, or have been detected in the last couple of months. But Georgia did a purge. It did one of the most sophisticated audits about a year ago that kicked off about 1,600 people, 1,600 non-citizens just in Georgia that had gotten on. They thought the rolls were closed and clean. They said, but, we did one more test before Election Day. They found 20 more non-citizens who got through who weren't detected by the other means. And here's how they found them. They went to all the courts in Georgia and said, give us all the people in Georgia who skipped jury polls saying that they were non-citizens, so they couldn't serve on an American jury. They took those identities and addresses, matches them to the voter rolls, and voila, they found 20 people who admitted they were non-citizens, but they were on the voter rolls. They took them off. They're not going to be able to vote. But it's a reminder that this dynamic of non-citizens, foreigners, trying to get on the rolls and in a position to vote, it's becoming more and more frequent, more and more obvious. And that's why states like Texas and Florida have sued the Biden administration, saying, you could help us police us. Give us the list of non-citizens. We'll clean our voter rolls. The Biden Justice Department doesn't want to do that. In fact, it's doing the opposite. It sued Virginia last week saying, yeah, you found some non-citizens, but don't you dare remove them from the voter roll.
Unbelievable. John, I know some of the people that were involved turning it over to Congress, and they now have a website. In other words, if they used your name to make a donation, and there's a way to check. It's checkmydonation.org. Checkmydonation.org. We'd like you to check it out and distribute it on your system, because the American people, if they think they've been duped, go to that website and check and see if somebody donated money that you don't know about in your name.
That's right. The actual email address, the name of the group is called checkmydonation.org, but the actual website, at least the one that Mike Johnson shared, is checkmydonation.com. I'm sure both will work, but that is the site that Mike Johnson just put out there. That is a very important thing. We have a link in our story. Anyone can put their name and see if they've been accused of making an ACLU donation that maybe they didn't make.
Absolutely. Judge Weinberg, you
John,
got a good question.
Did you hear the report that the Secretary of State of the state of Michigan, a Democrat, said there's no problem having 500,000 more people on the voting rolls than they have voting-age citizens? Is that a problem,
Yes.
John?
It's a problem of credibility and trust of the American people when they hear an election official that is okay with that sort of disparity. Michigan's been a battleground for the last year. There's such a tension between Jocelyn Benson, the Secretary of State, and the people who just want to have an honest and fair election there. Remember that we broke a story about a year ago that there was this huge voter operation going on where people were being fake registered in Michigan. The FBI got involved, and then the investigation just disappeared. I guarantee you Michigan's going to be one of those states we're going to be having a debate about in the days right after November 5th.
And the key item
we're going
to have to go to a break, but the key item is there's been accusations and allegations that it could be foreign money going through that system.
Yes, sir. That's what Congress put in a letter. They've actually sent a letter acknowledging that that's the information.
In other words, if a foreign country, I won't mention names, a foreign country decided because they got $1 billion in aid, decided to send $100 million back.
That's right.
It goes to that. That's just an example. Doesn't mean I don't want,
Right. Yeah.
Maybe I hope we find out before we find out who really killed Kennedy.
Let's pray. By the way, he said,
to aspire for.
and Trump said he would open up the Kennedy files too, so that might happen if he becomes president. Right. Everybody, again, check mydonation.com and .org.
No, .org.
Well, .org. He said .com, right?
Oh, I think we did.
Yeah, .com, right?
Yeah.
Right, John?
I think they worked it out. They had both ways.
Both ways. Either way, make sure everybody, you take a look. That's stunning. John, thank you very much, John Solomon.
Great to be with you guys. Always love being on your show.
Americans are durable. We take pride in hard work and high quality. American Giant makes durable quality clothing right here in the USA because what we wear reflects who we are. When you buy American Giant, you're not just wearing the best clothes money can buy. You're helping keep jobs and pride in your own backyard. Premium clothing built to last decades, like it should. Get 20% off your first order at American-Giant.com with code RightHere24.